This is what I like to call the ski shot. Not the money shot, but the ski shot. I have no idea why I just did that, but I just wanted to show you my annual holiday sweater because I think it's cool. So hi guys. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Rachel McKinney. Welcome. And welcome to With Love Us. Today is Christmas Eve 2020. I don't know about you, but this year is not what I expected at all. And yeah, I mean, this time last year, or most years, I would be on a plane going to visit my family. This year, everything is different. So here I am, New York City, hanging out, and my family will be doing a video call with everyone. I think it's pretty amazing that we're even able to do that. So something, we've got to take the wins when we can get them. And confession, I really haven't been in the holiday spirit at all. None of my house has any decorations except for this groovy holiday sweater. Part of it is that I just haven't been in the mood. Yeah. And part of it is because of money. I kept thinking about a Christmas tree and, well, anyway, it reminds me a lot about my first holiday, my first apartment. By the way, I'm going to be calling this Unexpected Christmas Gifts. My first apartment was very similar like this. I didn't have any money. And when I went to go get my first tree, I went to the Christmas tree lot, and my brain pretty much it just exploded of how expensive everything it was. It's not because the guys were overcharging. It's just I didn't have any kind of money. So when one of the Christmas tree guys saw how completely dejected I was, he said, "Kid, get out of here. Come back in half hour." Okay. So I probably wandered around Target, and then I came back. The guy was so sweet. What he had done was fashion me a tiny little Christmas tree. What I mean by this is that he had taken scraps from other trees. The base of it was made out of a trunk from one of the Douglas firs, and it was about 4 inches. And then somehow he had drilled a hole down in the center, deep enough so that he could take a Douglas fir branch and then jam it in, glued it in. I'm guessing this wasn't the first time, but for me, I was just so sweet. And what it ended up looking like was a tiny little palm tree on a beach. And he was so sweet, he put even tiny little bows at the very top. Didn't charge me a cent. To this day, that is still the best Christmas tree I've ever had. So the following year, I had prepared myself and saved a little bit of money, a little bit each month, and I went to the Christmas tree lot one more time to get the perfect tree. What does that even look like? It looks like this one, wandering around the entire lot looking at every single tree. And then I saw it in the corner of my eye. It was like the light had come down. What? That is my tree. Guys, that tree, I don't even know that I have a picture of it, but I really wish that I did, because it was the most misshapen tree that you could ever see. It was like one limb over here and then scraggly over here, and you don't want to put too many ornaments, but if you do put ornaments, you probably want to put it on the side so it doesn't tip over, because this branch is so big. Why did I choose this tree? Because I'm that person who walks around all the trees and then I start to panic, thinking that this little tree is never, ever going to find a home, and it won't be able to fulfill its Christmas wish. Yeah, I'm that person. So I took it home, and I actually splurged that year. I bought myself my first ornament, and it was a Charlie Brown fitting for my Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and he was holding his tree. Still have it today. It's my favorite ornament outside of the ornaments I had that year were from my family. They were handmade ornaments with beads and sequins, and I just imagine that my grandmothers had put these together, and I still have them today. So I decorated that with the old gold and silver tinsel. It was perfect. Except I didn't have a topper, and I didn't have any money for said topper. What am I going to do? Because a tree isn't a tree without a topper, right? Well, the boy that I had been dating at that time had this random baseball cap. I don't know how to explain it because the pattern on it, it was orange with like black stripe and green. It was mostly green. And I thought, oh, it's green. It's not that evergreen green, but it was a shade of green. I was like, perfect. Plopped it on top. That hat ended up becoming not only the topper for that year, but every year after that we were together. Pretty scrappy. What can you do? So, this year, I've been kind of like in this similar position. I'm like, okay, I don't have money. So I'm looking around the house going, okay, what do I have? Because if you don't know me, I am totally DIY. I like to make something out of nothing. I'm like, okay, what's the tree going to be? And I looked, and I have a hat rack. Yeah, the tall standing one with like the arms and stuff like that, and it's bluish green. And when I say bluish green, I actually don't really mean green. It's more of like a aqua rather than a sea foam. Basically, it's more blue than it is green. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I'm going to figure it out. So I'm going to maybe take some lights, string it from the top, loop it down around the legs, and then string it back up, and then go down, up, down, down, all the way around with lights. And then somehow I would put on ornaments. I hadn't gone quite to that part yet. I was just in the initial, like I'm going to figure this out stage. And then something happened. I was on Facebook, and I'm part of a local neighborhood Facebook group. And somebody posted, hey guys, I'm moving. I have a Christmas tree. Anybody want it? This girl does. So I threw my name into the ring to see what happened, and she chose me. I have no idea why she chose me, but it felt like I had won the lottery. So it's in this tiny box, and it's supposed to be 7 feet tall and I think about 2 feet wide, but that's my holiday tree. And for those of you who are DIY and you're so sad that I'm not going to make the tree out of the hat rack, don't worry. I still have plans for that. Not for the hat rack, but I still have DIY plans. Tonight, I am going to put on some super cheesy holiday movies. And my plan is to spend the evening hanging out with my glue gun and gluing together. I can't believe I'm actually saying this out loud, but I watched this video on YouTube about someone who made snowflakes out of hangers, and I am so obsessed with this idea that I'm going to try it. And anyway, long story short, I'm going to string lights through and stick it in my window somehow and hopefully add a little bit more light back into my neighborhood. Because isn't that really what this holiday is about? Loving our neighbors in whatever way that we have and shining a little bit more light back into the world. It's not exactly what I had anticipated this year, but I feel so grateful and privileged to be able to even be in this place. And thankful for my neighbor who does not know me, gave me the tree. Unexpected gifts. And it's really funny that I named this because as soon as I had finished writing this story, my neighbor, or one of my neighbors rather, they have just moved in and we've only seen each other from our balconies and just kind of like waving to each other and like, hey, what's going on? And today she did the same thing. I'm like, hey, can you come downstairs? I'm like, okay, right down. There we go. Guys, she brought me cookies. I just think it's really sweet. I'm a sap. What are you going to do? And speaking of gifts, I want to share one last thing. I gotta pull it up because my friend Miko wrote it, and I want to make sure that I say it correctly. So she wrote today, "To everyone who is still sitting at home, alone, and will be through the holidays, you are a revolution of love. Exhaustion, loneliness, depression, frustration, supreme anxiety, these are not the only fruits of your labor. Kindness, compassion, serenity, relief, solace, fruit ripe with love that feeds the soul, yours and mine. Yours is a gift, like a baby in a manger, part of you, offered up to save the world. Bless you." Unexpected gifts indeed. I love you guys. Happy Christmas Eve.